This is an Edinburgh Fringe review of The Imitator, a show that I think was here last year. I didn't see it, and is on at the Assembly Rooms in the Bijou. That's one of those sort of outside colourful circus tent type arrangements. What's the word? Like for vaudeville or burlesque or cabaret, that sort of stuff. Very well reviewed, I noticed before I picked that show. And it's a guy who is doing impersonations of songs. He might have been on a talent show. So he does quite, very good impressions of a bunch of singers and doing their songs in sort of, like an impressionist would do. But he's tied this together into a narrative. And the narrative he's chosen, inevitably, probably for his first show, is the story of his life, how he came. He's Latino from Colombia. And he tells the story of his life. So it's done in a sort of, I want to say American cabaret style. It's fairly cheesy. I didn't actually believe the story of his life until he had a disclaimer at the end about his son who said, and he said something that rang very true about him. The rest of the story was not as interesting as his musical performances, which were top quality. He's a brilliant imitator. He's an excellent singer. He can just do imitations as well of other sort of, I suppose family members. It was part of his story as what he was doing. He called himself King of the Dance Floor a few times. I didn't really see any dance moves, but maybe every Colombian thinks he's King of the Dance Floor. His talent was in his voice, which was excellent. He did something like the We Are the World, this sort of thing where there's lots of multiple singers. And the great thing was he didn't announce each singer. You know how music impersonators often announce each singer and this is Ray Charles and this is Michael Jackson or whatever. He doesn't do that. So you just have to sort of go with it and guess, which is much more fun really. And he just lets you enjoy his voice. The play between, he finishes with a sort of great quick slug of, if he was doing a shorter act, lots and lots of voices in a great karaoke, great choice of songs. And it makes you kind of want for more of that rather than the play. I know he's expanded it into a play, but often things when they're expanded, they look expanded. So I could have just had more of his songs and more of his imitations of singers for the whole thing. The play was serviceable. But it wasn't that interesting a story. But he's brilliant. I think the showrunner, I think this is a career for life for him. He's really found a way of turning a 3-minute act into something that you can, maybe he already does tour cruise ships with or wherever they do these sort of acts. And he's got the personality and talent to do it. The audience loved it, standing ovation at the end. Never quite know what to make of those, but it was an enjoyable show. Some of the narrative I think could be removed and replaced with more songs. You could have just done songs from beginning to end to me because there's so much reference already in that. The reference of his not very interesting story of being born, going to school, meeting somebody, didn't have any great epiphanies there, so there was no great plot twist. So double the plot, do the songs. But great show. I think anybody enjoy. Who would you take? You take your mother. I think that's a show you'd take your mother to, and you couldn't go wrong because his performance of the songs is terrific.